presentation of Major League Baseball International. The Seattle Mariners have stumbled out of the playoff gates, and their disappointment cannot be hidden. The bats that allowed them to win 116 games have been silenced. They've failed to give support to their starters. Piniella turns to Jamie Moyer as the series heads to New York, where the Mariners will face a starter. Here in New York, he is 9-1 in the postseason. His name, Orlando Hernandez. They will face the emotions of a city that has been torn but is proud, and a team that is focused on winning their 4th consecutive World Series. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Count them, Bertie Williams. And in this best-of-7 series, there's no room for Seattle to lose another. Will this series go back to Seattle? The Yankees think not, but Lou Piniella has guaranteed it. Baseball International welcomes you. Take the subway if you can for the American League Championship Series. If you can't, we've got it for you. Where's it going to go? Yankee Stadium in New York, home of the world champion Yankees, who take on the Seattle Mariners, leading in this series 2-0. Welcome, everybody. Delighted to have you with us here in New York, wherever you may be around the world. Gary Thorne, Rick Sutcliffe for the New York Yankees. Yet another impressive performance. Go to the pen, get the outs, get another win.
Well, but for the Seattle Mariners, they have to score a run. Lou Piniella knows his team and his pitching staff aren't going to as of yet.
And sweet Lou Piniella, the manager of Seattle, these headlines as a result of what he said after Game 2. He says, we're going to go back to Seattle. I guarantee there'll be a Game 6. They can be beaten. Speaking of the Yankees, sweet Lou has put up his dukes. Fight me, fight us. We are not going to go away easy. Lou Piniella, after Game 2, said,
we're going to be back here to play Game 6. Okay? I told the people outside the same thing. We're going to be back here to play Game 6. Now you can ask any questions you want.
I've got confidence in this baseball team. I wanted our players to know that. I mean, it's easy to go back after a loss and, well, answer questions of why did you lose. Listen, I wanted to dispel all that and get into something positive. And the positive was, we're going to go to New York. We're going to play good baseball. We're going to win some ball games over there. And we're going to bring this back to Seattle. I feel that way. I feel that way as a manager. I've got confidence in my baseball team. And if I didn't, I really shouldn't be managing this baseball team.
That's one of the reasons I enjoy playing for Lou. I mean, he's very intense, very fiery, and you know, for a manager to say something like that, and we're coming back here to New York, he's played here. He knows how it is.
In order to stay alive in the postseason, the adage is good pitching, because it'll be good hitting, and it has so far. Seattle turns to a man 2-0 against the Yankees this year, Jamie Moyer.
Well, he pitched big games when he was a part of the national team in Cuba. He's pitched big games for the Yankees as well.
Regular season, some injuries kept the number of starts down, but 4-0 in 5 career American League Championship Series starts, and 9-1 in the postseason. Going down the first 2, Seattle. A lot of bats flung, a lot of helmets flipped, a little bit of moaning and groaning, and a lot of disappointment. They cannot afford to lose Game 3.
Challenger is a non-releasable bald eagle cared for by the American Eagle Foundation, headquartered at Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and is named in honor of the Space Shuttle crew. Once again, we ask you to direct your attention to the microphone behind home plate and welcome Michael Bolton, who will now sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad strides and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Recording artist Michael Bolton performing the national anthem, and challenger the Eagle that is always here during the postseason for New York Yankee games. And the festivities continue here in what obviously will be a sellout crowd here at Yankee Stadium. Gary Thorne, Rick Sutcliffe, welcome back, everybody. In order to win postseason games in Major League Baseball, you have to do the little things right. Well, for Seattle, they haven't done many of them right so far, Rick.
Well, they have not. They did all year long. They were the best defense in the American League during the regular season. But take a look at Carlos Guillen, the shortstop here. If he catches the ball on the bag, Ichiro's throw would have been there in time. How about Mike Cameron? A terrific effort there to come in and short hop the ball, but a run scored on that play because he did not make the throw home. That is the home field for the Seattle Mariners. Yet Stan Javier overran that ball. The ball got past him, and two runners advanced on that play. They are not only pressing offensively, but it showed up defensively last night. That's why Lou Piniella made his comments.
And they are the #1 defense.
Being able to do any damage. They are a good hitting team when they can relax. Their manager is trying to get them there.
These numbers tell the story. 295 during the regular season when they had a chance to produce a run. Postseason, 130. That is amazingly low, and 0 for 10 in the first two games against the New York Yankees. Part of the problem is...
No, he has not scored a lot of runs. He has been on base and been a pest to the Seattle Mariners.
Talk about rising to the occasion. 250 during the regular season, 367 in this postseason, including a 5 for 8 in the first two games against Seattle. No team has ever lost the first two games of a league championship series at home and come back to win it. That's what Seattle's up against. And they're up against a Yankee team that knows how to put you away. Moyer on the left, Del Duque on the right. The two starters when we come back. Game 3 of the American League Championship Series from Yankee Stadium. Temperatures in the sunlight today are going to be up near 80, and even when you're in the shade, going to be in the low or mid 70s in a packed house under beautiful blue skies with a few white clouds here at Yankee Stadium today to see their Yankees try and go 3-0. For Seattle, has to be a little mind game being played here by the Yankees, because it was Seattle and New York that played last year against one another. Lou Piniella's club last year lost to the Yankees in the League Championship Series in 6 games. And Rick Sutcliffe, what has to be depressing to look at are the numbers. I mean, look at what New York did last year and this year, offensively and pitching-wise, and then Seattle hitting .215 last year, 161 right now in this series, and the ERA up.
Well, part of that reason is the fact that the New York Yankees every year go out and add another piece to the puzzle. And the big piece that they added this year was Mike Mussina. He stepped up and threw 7 shutout innings in Game 3 against Oakland, got them to the next game. They won that one. They won the one after that. And they have just continued to outpitch the Seattle Mariner starting pitching.
As you can tell by that average for Piniella's team. The other thing they've not been able to do, Seattle, in the first 2 games of this series, is get on the board first. And against the Yankees, it's best that you do that if you want to win.
Well, the Yankees are 4-0 4-0 in this postseason when they score first. And I think that might help take a little bit of pressure off of the Mariners. They get to hit first now. If Jamie Moyer can throw a shutout, put a 0 up in the bottom of the first, that means the Mariners have 2 opportunities against the Yankees 1 to make that happen by scoring first.
Yankees getting on in the second inning on the board in the first 2 games of this series. So for Jamie Moyer, the biggest game that he has pitched probably in his career will take place here today, because if Seattle goes down 3-0 to the Yankees, Rick, it is all over but one more W.
I find it so amazing how these 2 starting pitchers tonight go about their business successfully, yet completely different. We saw Jamie Moyer come off the field at noon this afternoon with a full lather. He had gone out and run wind sprints. He put a workout in. On the other hand, about 2 o'clock, El Duque strolled into the ballpark. He smelled good. He looked good. He dressed good. He just had that air of confidence about him.
Pitching, pitching, pitching. Always, always pitching matters when you get to big ball games. It always shows up in the postseason. Rick, you're a former Major League pitcher, all-star pitcher. Looking at the rotation, the 4 starters for each team, would you trade any of the Yankee starters right now, pitching right now in the current situation, for any of the Seattle starters?
Well, I would start with Freddie Garcia, absolutely. And I know you're just talking about now, but he pitched terrifically on 3 days of rest, matching Mike Mussina the best he possibly could. The offense didn't show up for him, but overall, I think if you even ask the Yankees which one of all of those guys they'd take, obviously the age is a major factor, but Freddie Garcia would be the one.
What amazes me about that is, here's a Seattle team that won 116 games, yet at best you would only trade 1 starter from their team to replace the starters of the Yankees.
Well, it was pretty, I would say, really the way it is, what Lou Piniella said about the stars of the Yankees. They should be good. They're paying them a lot of money.
And they are. Both paying them a lot of money and throwing that thing right where they want to so far in the postseason. The lineups. Let's take a look for this game 3 here at Yankee Stadium as to what these managers have decided to do. The Seattle Mariners with changes.
Well, I think the biggest thing, though, is going to be John Olerud. He has got to get going. If he gets going, Edgar Martinez will get better pitches to hit, and those are the 2 guys that have to do something extra base-wise. They've been getting a few singles here and there, but no doubles, no triples, and not enough homers.
And our Seattle lineup brought to you by MasterCard. Defensively, let's take a look at who'll be working in the Yankee infield and outfield. They'll introduce themselves.
Tino Martinez, first base, United States of America.
My name is Alfonso Soriano, second base for New York Yankees, and I'm from Dominican Republic.
I'm Scott Brocious, third baseman, USA.
Derek Jeter, shortstop, USA.
Chuck Knobloch, left field, USA.
Bernie Williams, center fielder, Puerto Rico.
Paul O'Neill, right field, United States of America.
Jorge Posada, catcher, Puerto Rico.
And not a bad defensive alignment either. Behind this 32, question mark, 36, question mark, years of age. Orlando Hernandez from Cuba, nobody's sure. Most believe he certainly isn't 32, which is what he and the Yankees claim he is. But whatever he is, he sure has been good in the postseason.
Well, another reason they question that age is the fact that in 1999, he was 17-9. Last year, he was 12-13. This year, just 4 victories and 7 defeats for the New York Yankees. But still, Joe Torre with the confidence to run him out there in the postseason. And why wouldn't you? He is 4-0 in League Championship Series games. Only 2 guys in the history of the ALCS are better than that. Dave Stewart was 8-0. And Juan Guzman was 5-0, who could be caught tonight.
El Duque, a win and 2 losses lifetime against the Seattle Mariners, who've got to find a way to get that man on base more often and in more key situations. Lou Piniella, in the last series, the division series, thought about moving Ichiro to the number 3 spot against Bartolo Colon of the Cleveland Indians. We asked him today, Rick, about moving him out of that leadoff spot. He said, no, not in this series, but this is still the key to the Seattle offense.
I think a big part of the reason Piniella would consider moving him to 3rd is that he led the American League in batting with runners in scoring position. When the guys who hit in front of Ichiro are 8th and 9th in the lineup, you don't expect them on base very often. And when they do get into scoring position, as they did in Game 2, Joe Torre counters by intentionally walking Ichiro, taking his chances on someone else.
Those are the bats. Spoon you saw previously. That is John Olerud of Seattle, their first baseman, a career 300 hitter. Struggling, both of them, mightily in the postseason, and particularly in the first 2 games. They know it. Lou Piniella saying, look, I'm going to have a meeting with my team before today's game, and the key to all of this, he said, is I got to get them to relax.
He said he was going to have some fun with it.
Yeah.
You know that Piniella always had fun when he played the game of baseball, and particularly here in New York, where he had a lot of his success. But I think Piniella he put all the pressure on himself. If they don't win tonight, he's going to have a lot of questions to answer. Well, by him saying that right off the bat at the end of Game 2, his players, all they had to respond to were his remarks, not their poor performances. We'll see if it helps.
Yankees, if they win 2 of the 3 games to be played here in New York, games 3, 4, and 5, if necessary, will have ended it. The Seattle Mariners must win 2 in order to take it back to Seattle for a Game 6. Ready to go. Orlando Hernandez delivers. Ichiro takes it up high for ball 1, and we are underway. Game 3. Ichiro got to see El Duque for the first time this season, and he went 0 for 3 against him. What a great year he had, though, and as a rookie. Of course, not a rookie in the truest sense, in that he played in the Japanese League and was a tremendous star there. But the best average, first in stolen bases, lots of power, great changeup right there, and he's way out in front of it. 2-1.
They continue to change the eye levels of the pitches Ichiro sees. The first 2 were hard fastballs in. He wanted to start this game with a home run. Duque fooled him with the change.
And Ichiro on a fastball fouls it straight back. 2-2.
You not only change the look that they see, Gary, north and south, as El Duque did on the first 3 pitches, you can change it east and west. He's gone in, he's gone away. What will he do here? 2-2.
70 degrees, our game time temperature, and the crowd a lot hotter. And Ichiro fouls it off. He is not an easy man to strike out. In fact, during the regular season, he was the toughest man to strike out in the American League. I mean, there weren't many numbers offensively where he was not number 1. He only struck out once every 14 times to the plate. And he does here.
There are a lot of people that are going to strike out on the sequence that Ichiro just saw. He established the fastball in to begin with. As they try to intimidate him, get him to lean back a little bit. There he tried to hit the corner. He missed. How about the changeup? Look at the location of it. Now a little bit more velocity in. Ichiro fouls off a tough pitch. All right, you're late on that one. How about this one?
Ichiro retired, 1 down. Here's McLemore against El Duque. McLemore, the switch hitter. Whoa, was he behind on that one?
Joe Torre did a great job getting his power pitchers to pitch Game 1 and Game 2 of this series, because he knows they'll draw strength for that power from this crowd.
McLemore, just a 148 hitter against Hernandez in his career. And he fouls it back and keeps the count at 0 balls and 2 strikes.
Piniella saying before tonight's game, yeah, we want to run. We couldn't run on Pettit because he was left-handed. Mussina was real quick to home, very tough to get a jump on. He thinks they can steal bases off El Duque, but you can't steal first.
First, you got to get on, right? Hernandez struck out 73 in 90 innings during the regular season. That one will go to the backstop.
Now, see, that's a situation right there where I think you've got to do something to make a difference. Let that ball hit you. That's just a slow breaking ball. Mark McLemore is in the hole. If he were to stay in there, that soft curve ball wouldn't have hurt him any, and it might have given Seattle an opportunity to score.
1 ball, 2 strike count. And McLemore will step out as Orlando Hernandez takes a moment. Seattle counting on what they did here at Yankee Stadium during the regular season. They went 5-1 against the Yankees here. during the regular season, so they're hoping they can do that here in this 3-game set.
Here's what I'm talking about. This isn't going to hurt. Stay right there. Don't move. If you don't move, you're on base. Who knows? Good things could happen.
Was not hit by a pitch once during the regular season, but you say, Rick, would have helped to get the first one right there. And he's gone.
Well, the crowd wouldn't be on their feet. Mark McLemore would still be on his feet if that ball would have hit him. And the possibility for Lou Piniella to manage would exist. He could sacrifice. He could hit and run. Now all he can do is sit back and hope Brett Boone gets going.
They start counting the strikeouts. Boone takes the pitch outside. Boone is 0 for 9 lifetime off Orlando Hernandez. And a very tough postseason so far. That one to second base off the fist. Soriano's got it. And Orlando Hernandez does just what the Yankees wanted. Keep that mind game going against the Seattle hitters. Down 1, 2, 3.
Most part, particularly in the postseason, they get it done.
David Justice, 100th career postseason game. He has a number of postseason marks we'll talk about that he's accumulated in his time with the Yankees and the Atlanta Braves. Jamie Moyer, 20-game winner, 20-6 during the regular season, and beat the Yankees twice.
Well, it's all about starting pitching. Andy Pettit in game 1 was better than Aaron Seeley. Mussina was better than Garcia. During the season, Seattle was better as a starting rotation and as a pitching staff than the Yankees were. But don't forget, so were the Oakland A's.
And here is Chuck Knobloch. 5 for 8 in this series. And the left-hander comes inside to him, ball 1.
Moyer really doesn't mind falling behind in the count. In fact, at times he's better when he's behind than he is when he's ahead because he's not a strikeout guy.
A little off that again. Outside corner strike, 1-1. What Joe Torre was talking about, you see the numbers against Moyer. Joe Torre, the Yankee skipper, telling Rick and I before the game, patience important against Moyer because he throws so much off-speed stuff like that. And you've got to go up there with a plan against him, Rick.
But his fastball is just as effective as a guy that throws 95 because of the difference between his fastball and his change, as you see there. Guy that throws 95 has an 86-mile-an-hour changeup. Moyer's fastball is 85, but his changeup is 76.
Sneaky fast. And Knobloch is gone. Yes, foul tip held on to. And one away as Lampkin got that one defensively. Seattle Mariners will introduce themselves to you.
John Olerud, first base, USA.
Brett Boone, second base, USA.
David Bell, third base, USA. Mark McLemore, shortstop, USA.
Stan Javier, outfield, Dominican Republic.
Mike Cameron, center fielder, United States of America. Ichiro Suzuki, right field, Japan.
And Tom Lampkin, USA, working behind the plate for the Seattle Mariners in this game. Moyer and Lampkin, the battery.
That might be the last time I've seen those players smile when introduce themselves defensively.
Haven't had a lot to smile about. Outside corner strike taken by Jeter. Now Derek Jeter, just another great year. 9th in the league with that .311 batting average. Off the end of the bat, Brett Boone, 2 down. So Moyer showing us kind of stuff that'll keep hitters off balance, and if he's on, those are the kind of ground ball outs he can get.
And I've played with Jamie Moyer. I've seen him during the course of the year break as many bats as any power pitcher in the game of baseball, but he doesn't break that bat on the handle like most people do. He breaks it by having you over aggressive out in front, hitting it off the end as Derek Jeter did there. All he can do is laugh about it. You could catch that pitch he just hit barehanded and it wouldn't hurt.
David Justice, the designated hitter, playing, as we said, in his 100th postseason game. That is a record that he increases, a major league record, every time he plays. The all-time postseason leader in at-bats, RBIs, and walks, David Justice. You got to be in the right place to do that, obviously, and he has been, having played with the Atlanta Braves during the 90s and all their postseason games, and then coming to the Yankees. Every season's a postseason for David Justice. He is 1 for 7 in this series. Moyer's fastball misses down low, 3-0.
Justice is taking a look at third base coach Willie Randolph, but he knows he doesn't need to. If he likes it, that green light is on for this veteran New York Yankee team.
Jamie Moyer with a 3-0, and it was on. Moyer is not going to walk many, Rick. He was among the leaders, giving up just 1.9 walks per 9 innings, 4th best. He is a control pitcher.
And that control comes, Gary, because he is so sound mechanically. He gets the high leg kick to throw a little deception in there, but at the end of it, he lands soft. He is always in the same release point position. Makes that command much easier.
3-1 delivery, and he gives up a walk there. So Justice is on with 2 down.
Take a look at the delivery here from the side. This leg kick is to generate power. It's kind of like that jack-in-the-box we all had as kids. You get that spring wound as tight as you can so that when Moyer needs to, it can create some velocity from the waist down. When he doesn't need that velocity, he creates a deception from the waist down with all of that movement and nothing coming out of his arm.
Now Moyer's got to face a man who has hit him hard, Bernie Williams. Numbers on the regular season, including the 94 RBIs for the Yankee center fielder. He is a .439 hitter off Moyer lifetime with 6 home runs. Ouch. So Moyer's got to be very careful here with those kind of numbers posted against him by Williams. Justice at first, not a base stealing threat. Inside corner, 0-2.
And that's what makes it easier for Moyer to be careful with him and make better pitches, is that his focus is not divided. If you can get some speed on the bases, as they could have with Knobloch or Jeter, then Moyer's attention would be split in half. Now it's not. It's all on Bernie Williams.
2 down. Tried to get him to chase the pitch outside. He would not, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Great to have you with us here in New York. With those of you around the world, a city that's putting itself back together again, and certainly baseball has been part of that. And these Yankees moving on to the American League Championship Series has helped the cause of people trying to get back to whatever normalcy is anymore after the September 11 terrorism attack here in New York City. The rescue services, fire department, police department, Red Cross, rescue workers recognized by both the Yankees and Mets at the end of the year, and that will continue in the postseason by the Yankees here in New York City.
And Joe Torre recognized in Game 5 here at Yankee Stadium against Oakland. He said, "It's the loudest I have heard this stadium in the 6 years I've been here." And he thought that was part of it. He said the fans and the people of New York needed some place to go and scream.
Off-speed pitch, and Williams just able to get enough of that to keep the count at 1-2.
What makes Bernie Williams so difficult, along with being a switch hitter, is the fact that there's a short right field porch here at Yankee Stadium. And on anything hard away, he can just flip it with his hands over that fence. And when you see him open up like that, if he pulls the baseball, he's got enough power to hit it out anywhere.
1-2 count. Justice off first base. And again, a breaking ball that misses outside. 2-2. Jamie Moyer won Game 5 of the division series and Game 2 of that series, both in Seattle.
And both great performances. 6-inning pitched, only 1 run allowed. When you don't give up more than 1 run for 6 innings, your manager has an opportunity to manage. He can do things. You give up runs early, he cannot.
2-2 delivery on the way, and he missed outside with it. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Moyer will have to contend with a very patient Yankee lineup. We were talking to Joe Torre about it before the game. The Yankees over the past few years have been noted for taking a lot of pitches. They didn't do that part of this year in the regular season. They are back doing it now. This is the 18th pitch. to be thrown here in the first inning by Moyer. 3-2. Runner goes, hit in the air, 399 at the gap, way back, goodbye, home run, Bernie Williams, the 7th home run. He is hit off Jamie Moyer.
Bernie Williams has been in this Yankee organization since he was a 16-year-old kid. Joe Torre says he's got the ability to go from awful to awesome quickly. He just did.
His first postseason home run this year. But he continues to just hammer Jamie Moyer and the fans chanting, "Bernie, Bernie." Down to first, John Olerud. And Martinez is retired. But after going 0-2 in the count, Bernie Williams got it to a 3-2 count. And for the 3rd straight game, the Yankees have taken the early lead. This one coming on a 2-run homer by Bernie Williams.
That this guy deserves. Last year he was the leading vote getter among outfielders in the American League. 7 straight years now he's hit over 300. 6 straight years he scored over 100 runs. And how about the firemen and the policemen here in New York? They just continue to give. Watch this. Young man in a wheelchair. What a wonderful gesture.
Man. And Bernie Williams touching up Jamie Moyer for the 7th time with a long ball.
You could take that baseball and put it on eBay and make a house payment. But no.
Didn't even think about it.
That's what he chose to do.
So El Duque's got runs to work with now for the Yankees. Edgar Martinez coming up. There you see the dimensions here at Yankee Stadium, long noted for the house that Ruth built. Going down that right field line, 314 short porch, left the same way if you can get it right down the line. Outside corner strike. The game's greatest designated hitter ever, Edgar Martinez. Finished 9th in RBIs, 8th in walks, a 306 batting average again. But he, like so many of these Mariners, postseason, it is simply a struggle. And in this series, Martinez 2 for 8. Needs a new bat.
That is the 4th time during this series that has happened to Edgar Martinez. He has gone through full seasons in which he did not break 4 bats.
That was one of those right off the end, right down the middle.
We saw the head guy from Louisville Slugger here before the game tonight. Now we know why.
There's one. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Got him. He has struck out 3 of the first 4 Mariners faced.
Well, they're just trying to do too much. Everybody's trying to hit the ball out of the park instead of just putting it in play as they have done all year long. Edgar feels the pressure, even as great a hitter as he is. Take a look. There's one off the end. He's just too quick. Now, he does have an injury. He has pulled that left groin, and it is not at 100%. They had hoped today that it would be better. But that's not the normal swing and timing we've seen out of Edgar Martinez.
Now John Olerud. Martinez, strikeout victim number 3 for Hernandez. Olerud in 0 for 7 in the first 2 games after a 3.02 average during the regular season. And that's inside for a ball. He is 6 for 16 in his career off Orlando Hernandez.
They're just teasing these power hitters of Seattle on the inner half of the plate. They're acting like they're trying to throw a strike in there, but they're not. They're showing them in, and then they're going soft away. Seattle needs to adjust to that.
1-1 delivery. Not going to do much with that pitch.
That's the soft stuff. previous pitch was a fastball in. He says, maybe I'll get another one. Well, this one starts out like it's a fastball in, but the movement takes it down and in underneath the swing of Olerud, who once again is too aggressive.
1-2 delivery. Another breaking ball that missed inside. Hernandez, Rick, has an assortment of pitches: a slider, fastball, curveball, four-seam, two-seam, changeup.
And from all different angles. The only thing I haven't seen him do out there is throw left-handed.
Give him a chance. 2-2. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
That's what he needs to do right there. Look for the fastball away. That is the only location in which they have thrown a strike to him. This missing the outside corner. A nice call by home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom.
Olerud, 6th in the league in walks during the regular season. He had 94. He'll take a timeout. Keep in mind, Orlando Hernandez has not lost a league championship series game in his career. 4-0. 3-2. Thought about it, stayed off it, and gets the walk. Runner on with one down. Major League Baseball International's presentation of the 2001 American League Championship Series is brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things in life that money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Yankee Stadium in New York, the house that Ruth built, recognized out there in center field with the monuments and plaques erected to the great Yankee names. Pitch taken up high by Javier. Switch hitter. Javier, fine season. This is where Seattle needs to get it going early. Every inning that goes by that they don't generate some offense is one more mindset against this team. Up high again, 2-0.
He was the guy that got it going for Seattle in game 2. They were down 3-0, bottom of the 4th inning. The only 2 mistakes Mike Mussina made. He hit Mike Cameron with the pitch on the left elbow, and the very next pitch was a hanging changeup in which Dan Javier hit over the center field fence.
Javier waiting, got one and fouled it back to make it a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Stan, a 15-year veteran out of the Dominican Republic, planning to retire at the end of this season, has played in 8 different organizations in his career. Started out Major League rise right here in New York. He's been to Oakland, LA, Philadelphia, California, San Francisco, Houston, now Seattle. Got Olerud on at first, who is not a fast runner. Oh, mercy.
That wasn't a fast pitch either.
Buckle your knees.
So much confidence for El Duque. Even with the count 2-1 and a man on, look at him just take a little bit off that breaking ball. And if you're Jorge Posada, just close your eyes. That's where it ended up, right where you had the glove held.
2-ball, 2-strike count now. Fastball came inside to him, 3-2. Orlando Hernandez, 45 and 33 in his career. Coming from Cuba, of course, defecting to the United States. Maybe on a raft with a windy sail, or maybe in a speedboat with a 400-power engine behind it. That story's never been cleared up very well, but he came from Cuba.
Well, we also know that he tried to escape 8 times, and if you get caught, consequences aren't very good. So the pressure of trying to do that as opposed to pitching here, well, this is a walk in the park.
Runner goes, 3-2, second base. Soriano. Double play not available with Olerud running, but they get the second out.
Here's another small thing that goes unnoticed that Derek Jeter does for the New York Yankees. He's a captain of that infield defense. And when he saw what pitch Jorge Posada put down, he decided he would cover on Olerud running. Why is that important? Because look where the ball was hit. If Jeter would have made the other call and Soriano would have covered, that would have been a successful hit and run, men on first and third, and only 1 out. But Derek Jeter made the call. He saw it was an off-speed pitch. He guessed that Javier would pull it, and he guessed right.
Little things that matter. Here's Mike Cameron, 0 for 9 lifetime against Hernandez. Now another chance with a runner in scoring position. And 2 down. Seattle still looking for their first hit with the runner in scoring position in this series. They are 0 for 10. John Olerud, as we said, is not fast, so on a base hit, even with 2 down, there could be a play at the plate here. Yankees up 2-0. Inside corner, strike 1-1. Not much he can do now, but watch. He's done everything he can to fire up the club to take pressure off him.
Knowing him as well as you and I do, he'd probably like to take a bat up in his hand and go hit himself.
Slider that misses. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Yankee pitching not only has been tough overall, but even tougher when you get to these situations. They simply are not allowing big hits. .075. And another inside corner strike. That's quality pitching.
Well, and Mike Cameron just catches himself guessing here. He was looking for a fastball and he got fooled. Seattle's just got to look for the baseball, and if it's in the strike zone, get yourself in a position to put a swing on it.
He struck out 155 times in the regular season. 2-2 delivery to Cameron. Add another. 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The Mariners team batting average in these 3 games has now dropped down to 147. And Orlando Hernandez has struck out 4 in the first 2 innings. Season they have 4. Postseason they have 6. Gary Cederstrom has the plate today. Charlie Relaford at first. John Shulock at second. Tim Welke at third. Ed Montague down the left field line, and Wally Bell in right field. Sun setting over the stadium. That gentle breeze blowing out towards right field today. And Jamie Moyer goes back to work against Jorge Posada. Another Yankee with big numbers against Moyer, a .345 career hitter off this left-hander. Another off-speed breaking ball in, 1-1.
He does so many things well, that being Posada. The only thing he doesn't do well is promote himself. Look at those numbers. 95 RBIs from the catching position. Not only do you get banged up a lot with foul tips and people sliding into home and throws that you have to make, but because of that position and the wear and tear, he only played in 138 ball games this year. This guy could be a heck of a first baseman.
Yeah.
You want to see what he could do offensively, put him out there.
1-2 taken up high. He teams up with Orlando Hernandez again today. They have started 12 postseason games as battery mates, and that is the most by any pitcher-catcher duo born outside the United States. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. We'll have to sit down on that one. Second strikeout picked up by Moyer.
This is really his best pitch now. They talk about his changeup, but this is the cut fastball. Movement in to the outside corner, into the inner half to a right-handed hitter. And Jamie Moyer learned this pitch in 1993 from Fernando Valenzuela. That's exactly what happened in Fernando's career. He was a changeup type guy, and he got released from professional baseball. He went and played in Mexico. He came up with a cutter. He came back to the big leagues. Moyer was up and down in AAA, the big leagues. No success until he saw the cutter from Fernando. He saw it in 93. He tried it in 94 and 95. But in 96, he perfected it. And since then, 85 and 40 is his winning percentage and record for the Seattle Mariners. That's the best in their all-time history.
And he's
Fernando
came on late, Rick. He's 38 years old. And obviously other teams, before he found the way to get hitters out, just weren't willing to keep him around. But Seattle has come up with a real gem that wasn't expected to be, who wasn't expected to be a 20-game winner. Certainly not 20 and 6. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Paul O'Neill. 3 for 6 against the Mariners. He fouls it off. 1 and 2. O'Neill, the veteran, will he be back next year? One of many Yankees who may be playing in their final postseason ever. He may retire, or maybe final postseason for New York. His contract done at the end of the year.
Didn't we say that about him last year?
Every year. Scott Brocious, Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez, Joe Torre hasn't got a new deal. Every year, here they are in October. O'Neill will take that one outside.
Well, nobody knows how long this amazing run the Yankees are on will last, but I don't think O'Neill or Brocious wants to leave before it's over. I mean, they're still going well. If they can get a contract out of the boss, George Steinbrenner, I'll bet they come back.
2-2 delivery to him, and it's taken outside. Paul O'Neill at the age of 38, 21 homers and 22 stolen bases. He's the oldest player in Major League history to go with 20 homers and at least 20 stolen bases. Not only is he not slowing down, he's getting faster.
We got the oldest guy on the mound to ever win 20 games.
Jamie Moyer. Experience matters. O'Neill keeps it alive. 3 regular season starts against the Yankees. He gave up only 3 runs in 20 innings. Jamie Moyer.
You know, I think with Aaron Seeley, who pitched in game 1, or with Paul Abbott, who's pitching tomorrow, Lou Piniella would be a little bit concerned about their confidence. You give up 2 in the first inning. He's not concerned with Jamie Moyer. He knows Moyer will continue to compete, even if he's behind.
3-2 delivery to second base. Right at Boone. And there are 2 down.
Moyer's one of those guys that was just kind of given a new lease on life when he learned that cut fastball, an opportunity to come back. And he is going to make the most out of not only every opportunity he gets to pitch, but every single pitch that he throws. There is a game plan involved mentally and tremendous physical preparation.
Jamie Moyer's got 2 down here, and Scott Brocious up against him. Brocious is one of the few Yankees in the lineup not to have a good batting average against Jamie Moyer. He has had 1 home run off him. Brocious, another fine season at third base, 120 starts there. He'll foul that one back, and the count goes to 0-2. We were talking about Brocious. He's another one of the Yankees. Does he come back? His contract expires at the end of this postseason. But he has been a tremendous postseason player and has the 5th best World Series batting average ever at .391. 0-2 delivery to him. Outside corner strike. So a good inning for Jamie Moyer as he strikes out 2, 3 in the game for him, and retires the side in order. We've completed Game 3 of the American League Championship Series, Yankee Stadium in New York, where the Yankees have a 2-0 lead in the series and the game. He won 7 consecutive Gold Gloves in the Oryx Blue Wave career in Japan.
He's going to win another one, and probably a lot more to come. He also won 7 batting titles. Well, he won another one of those.
Our American League Championship Series coming your way from Yankee Stadium in New York. This is Game 3. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead in the ball game and in the series. El Duque, Orlando Hernandez working to the bottom third of the order. Cameron, Lampkin, and Bell. The Yankees' 3 starters: Andy Pettit, Mike Mussina, Orlando Hernandez. A combined ERA right now of 1.5 so far against Seattle. Last year, Bobby Valentine, the manager of the New York Mets, was involved in the Subway World Series.
Wasn't he smiling like that?
No, he wasn't. Yankees won that one too.
Those were some great ball games, as have been the first 2 here. But in close ball games, sometimes decisions that managers make or don't make the difference. And boy, Joe Torre in the postseason is just flawless.
Cameron, a strikeout victim, could be again. 0-2 count stays that way.
This is a huge, pardon me, Gary, this is a huge inning right here for Seattle. Somebody has to get on base this inning and give the one guy who seems to be able to make the difference a chance to do something. That's Ichiro. get a man on base here. These bottom three hitters, he's going to get to hit with somebody on. If you don't, once again, he'll have to lead off.
An 0-2 count on the leadoff batter in this inning. That sliders outside. 0-2. Cameron 0 for 10 lifetime. Off Hernandez in the hole. Suzuki would bat fourth if they can get to it. 1-2 delivery. Just off the end of the bat. You can see how the confidence of the Seattle hitters has just all but disappeared. I mean, the swings are not confident, solid swings. The outs are not hard outs.
Because their hips are gone. They're just flipping at that ball away, and Alduque continues to stay there.
2-ball, 2-strike count.
Alduque is not following the usual pitcher's formula of first pitch strikes, though. 10 times he's thrown a first pitch ball, and only 6 times first pitch strikes. He's trying to even get them more aggressive and more frustrated than they are. Falling behind, they're taking big swings, and he gets them.
2-2, and he jammed it. Knobloch, Williams puts it away. Cameron retired, so another leadoff batter failing to get on base. And El Duque continues to come from behind, even though he's up to 80 pitches thrown in the game so far. He still's finding a way to get the outs when he falls behind in the count. 9-1 in the postseason for him. And he takes Cameron with the fly ball.
Well, they only had 2 guys lead off an inning getting on base in game 2. Well, actually, it was 2 times. It was the same guy. It was Ichiro.
Lampkin doing the catching today. Trying to find a little magic in the long ball. Takes a strike. Chin music up high. 1-ball, 1-strike count on Lampkin.
He just puts that thought in their mind. Fastball in. Now, if you're Tom Lampkin, you got to forget about that. All right, that's it. He's been throwing that off-speed stuff away. He's been throwing that fastball for a strike away. If the ball's in, you just use your hands. If it's away, you've got to use your legs.
1-1 fastball again came back inside, but missed, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. You're right. Orlando Hernandez continues on all of these hitters generally to fall behind in the count somewhere.
And here's where he plays with it. Something off speed. Lampkin will take a big swing and pull it foul.
2-1 pitch. There it is.
I'm 200 feet away. I can see what's going on. It's a great job of pitching. But as a hitter, you have a game plan. And when the pitcher adjusts to that, you have to readjust. And there's no readjusting going on for Seattle.
6 strikeouts for Hernandez so far. 2-2, and he got that one up. And a base hit. And Lampkin is on here in the 5th inning with a 1-out single. Just the 2nd hit of the ball game. Want to remind you, coming up, the National League Championship Series Game 4. The Diamondbacks will have Albie Lopez against Greg Maddux of the Braves. Tonight, 7:30 Eastern and 11:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Arizona leading that one 2-1. And the American League Series Game 4 will be Paul Abbott against Roger Clemens tomorrow. We'll be right back here, 7:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Greenwich Mean. The Yankees up 2-0 right now. Could be 3-0 or 2-1 if Seattle can rally back. And that's a high strike call to Bell. Rounded out his first time up, looking for his first hit in this series. 0 for 6. Three total hits in this game. Ichiro, leadoff batter, on deck.
Pinella would like to see a hit by David Bell here, but I don't think he really cares about that as much as he doesn't want him to hit into a double play. How you stay away from that double play is you take a look at what the defense offers you. There's a big gap between first and second. Try to play pepper with Paul O'Neill out there in right field. Hit a ground ball that way.
Bell grounded into 8 double plays during the regular season. He is not particularly fast, and neither is Lampkin, the base runner, so if Hernandez could get a ground ball here, he's got a real good chance at turning the double play.
What Bell is, though, is particularly smart, and he will take advantage of pitchers that have patterns. A guy that'll throw a lot of first pitch fastballs, or when he gets 2 strikes, he'll throw a breaking ball. That's where Bell will hit his home runs. He hit 15 this year. El Duque does not have a pattern, except for a pattern of success in the postseason.
Winning.
Yeah.
What a pattern, huh? Lampkin on at first. Ernie Williams, 2-run homer in the first. First postseason home run of this year. 14th of his career, gave the Yankees the lead in the first inning. And it has been enough so far for Orlando Hernandez. The only Yankee hit, by the way. 1-1 delivery. Bell takes the inside corner strike. 1-2.
El Duque is so smart. He knows that Bell wants to hit the ball to the opposite field. And what's he done? Not giving him a pitch at which to do that with. Now, if you're Bell, you got to protect. If you're El Duque, you make a pitch, you could get that ground ball double play.
Bell, a .260 hitter during the regular season. 1-2 the count. And Bell, broken bat roller. Chance for 2. There's one. Soriano not able to make the return throw, but they get the lead runner on yet another broken bat.
They might have been able to turn this double play, but for me, Soriano took the throw in a bad position. You've got to come towards El Duque to get that ball to turn the double play. You shorten the length of time it takes for the ball to get you, and you shorten the throw. But look where he's at. He takes a step towards right field. That ball had to travel 10 more feet. Go forward. Go get the throw. Come off the bag in that direction. You might turn it. He'll learn that, and he'll be told about that after the game tonight and probably work on it tomorrow.
Plenty of time right there if he'd come in front to make that throw.
You're so right.
Runner at first base. 2 down. They did get the lead runner on at first. Bell in the fielder's choice. Kind of things Joe Torre will talk about with young players during the game. Just say, mention it to them. Now learn this, think about this.
And they've done it just one step at a time with their young second baseman. Just give him one thing. When he learns that, then you go to something else.
Ichiro trying to come through here. 1-1. He is 1 for 2 in the game.
He will change his approach in this situation. A lot of times you'll see Ichiro with that big leg kick, and then he'll try to hit the top half of the ball, hit it on the ground, and beat it out. At times, he'll leave that leg down so that it's easier for him to turn on something in. Maybe then he can hit the ball out of the park.
Ichiro had the best batting average on the road this year at .356, along with the best batting average overall at .350. Talk about a superstar in terms of international sports. Is he ever one?
And he's so smart. He's seen El Duque drop that curveball for a strike in this count. See if he looks for it here. He did. But smart enough to know that it wasn't in a location to do anything with. Hitters that don't have the patience of Ichiro would have said, okay, when they saw it come, it's a curveball. That's what I want. Wait a minute, I can't do anything with that. And you see Ichiro holding the bat in his hand. He doesn't have that leg kick going either. He's trying to juice this ball.
3-1 count. And walked him.
How about that?
That's a lot of respect right there.
And you know what? I probably would have done the same thing even in my prime. That guy, he just plays this game of baseball at another level. Look at Piniella shaking his head going, they weren't even going to give him a pitch. Unless you load the bases with nobody out, Ichiro's going to be pitched like that this whole series.
Here we go again. Runners at first and second, 2 down. Seattle 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position against the Yankees. Another shot at it, down 2-0 here in the 5th inning. McLemore 0 for 1 and a walk. And outside, ball 1.
He's made an adjustment here. He's closer to home plate, more upright than he has been. Maybe a conversation with Ichiro or their hitting instructor, Gerald Perry. By moving closer to home plate, that fastball on the outside corner now is something he can reach and maybe be hooked or pull the ball for extra bases.
Stays away 2-0. Jorge Posada on his way to the mound. With runners in scoring position, you see the Yankee opponents have had very little success. Oakland 4 for 43, and Seattle so far 0 for 12. And with El Duque falling behind early here 2-0, Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, on the mound.
Well, the guy that's had absolutely no success in those situations is on deck. Stottlemyre out there telling him to pitch around McLemore and get to Boone.
He's thrown 24 pitches this inning, and he's closing in on 197 on the game. Keep in mind, injured a lot during the season. Only made 16 starts and appeared in 17 games, with a 3.7 mark during the regular season. Bell off second. Ichiro off first for McLemore, who's 2-0 at the plate. McLemore fouls it back, 2-1. Seattle knows the number of these opportunities. They cannot keep letting them go by.
Well, an opportunity for McLemore. Look how deep Brochus is at third. Tino Martinez deep at first. What's wrong with bunting for a base hit here? Load the bases. If you're not swinging the bat well.
2-1 delivery to him. Down low, 3-1 on McLemore.
I mean, in normal situations, absolutely not. You got a man on second and 2 outs here. This situation's first and second. You got to swing the bat. Try to drive the run in yourself. But if you're not swinging well, and you don't have to swing, put down a little bunt.
3-1, 2 away. Runners off first and second. And a step out here. You would think now in this pitch, Rick, McLemore has got to be thinking of either location or type of pitch, right?
If it's not right down the middle or middle in where you can juice it for extra bases, pulling the ball, you take it.
McLemore, 3-1, breaking ball will load the bases. The best chance Seattle's had. It comes with 2 down here in the 5th inning, and the sack's full.
I can't believe that. Mark McLemore does not have a lot of power. You've got the guy that led the American League in RBIs in the on-deck circle, and you throw a 3-1 curveball. And knowing the command of El Duque, he threw that where he wanted to. He thought he could get McLemore to chase it, and if he didn't, so be it. I'll take my chances getting Boone out.
Bullpen still quiet for the Yankees. Now Brett Boone, who is looking for his first hit.
That 3-1 pitch. That's the reason Brett Boone has an opportunity for his first hit.
He is 0 for 11 lifetime off Hernandez. Pitch is inside for a ball. He is popped out and flied out today.
Piniella might have been managing right there and put the take on that first pitch. Now the count gets better. The location for the hitter could get better.
And Hernandez has lost the strike zone here, 2-0.
Ichiro created every bit of this. They wanted nothing to do with him. They fell behind. They could not get McLemore out. He has created this because of the respect they have for the right fielder.
Leading RBI man in the league, standing in. The 2-0 pitch to him. Boone takes it for a strike. With the bases loaded this season, Brett went 7 for 21 for Boone. No grand slams this year. But as you see, he's not had a hit off Hernandez in his career. Bullpen will get active. The 2-1 delivery. And Boone off the fist. Knobloch coming. Knobloch coming. Knobloch diving. He did not get it. 1 run scores. Runners stop running. Bell scores. Ichiro scores. The game is tied at 2. And McLemore, for some reason, was standing at shortstop watching the ball. Boone will be credited with 2 RBIs.
they have made so many mental mistakes this year, that being this series, that being the Seattle Mariners. We saw some of them in the pregame defensively that they made. As a base runner here, you don't need to watch the play. Watch your third base coach. If he tells you to hold up, then he caught it. If he tells you to go, which Dave Myers, the third base coach for Seattle, might have done here when he saw the ball come out. If McLemore's not watching that, he continues to run, he might have scored. Instead, he almost got thrown out at third.
It is a 2-2 game. Boy, even when they get him, it doesn't come easy.
Here they go. Now watch McLemore rounding second there. He's watching what happens in left field. He stops. There's 2 outs. And at that point, all Dave Myers could do was point to the bag and say, stay here.
Brett Boone comes through with a big hit. 2 down. And a strike on the outside corner. So Lou Piniella's team has battled back here to tie this game up.
Even Piniella cannot believe what McLemore had done there.
I looked up and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Outside with it. They have credited Boone with just a single and said he went to second on the throw. Still 2 RBIs for him, and he comes through with his first hit against Hernandez. Couldn't have been more important for these Seattle Mariners. Now Martinez called on to, this is a big at-bat right here. You got 2 in scoring position. You've got a pitcher struggling with a strike zone. You're still looking really for that big hit. I mean, Boone just got 1, but you'd really like right now to get a lead. Mike Stanton up in the bullpen.
And even in Lou Piniella's prime, I think he would rather have Edgar Martinez up there hitting here than even him.
Edgar Martinez, 300 hitter with runners in scoring position during the regular season. 303 to be exact. You got McLemore at third, Boone on at second. Piniella counting on his designated hitter to try and do it. Joe Torre has seen his pitcher have a tough inning here. A couple of walks have been surrendered.
This is the 36th pitch for El Duque this inning.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Martinez goes down swinging. So a ball that could have been caught and wasn't in left field goes for a single. McLemore, who maybe could have scored on it but didn't because he stopped running. And Knobloch got back up and got it in. Boone will get credit for the RBIs, and Seattle has come back to tie this game up at 2-2. Sitting by Bernie Williams, 2-2. As we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, there's Moyer. He has struck out 4, walked only 1. Jorge Posada down low for ball.
But since that homer to Bernie Williams, Jamie Moore has retired the last 10 consecutive Yankees in a row. That's why Lou Piniella doesn't worry about his left-hander a lot.
1-0 delivery to second base. Boone diving. What a play that was. Brett Boone made that look easy. He is a Gold Glove caliber second baseman, and he gets a tip of the glove from Jamie Moyer.
It gets a lot easier to make these plays when you mix in a base hit once in a while, and he did that. A couple of RBIs to tie the game, and now you just feel better about being yourself. It hadn't been a lot of fun in this postseason to be Brett Boone. It is now.
1 down. Boone, MVP candidate, as we said, in the American League. The voting's already done on MVPs for the regular season, but won't be announced till the playoffs are over. O'Neill just able to bring breakfast back in far enough so he didn't get hit.
Morning. How you doing? Come on, Paul. It's not going to hurt.
Sure, easy for you to say.
Gets your attention, though.
Lined outside to second base, his first time up off Moyer. Infield puts a little shift on Paul O'Neill. They put McLemore, the shortstop, way over towards second base, and they moved Bell, the third baseman, way over towards the shortstop hole, giving O'Neill that line down to third because he rarely takes a ground ball that way. The outfield's pretty much straight up. If anything, they play him the other way in the outfield. Takes the strike, 2-1. Yankees here at home this year won 51 games. They were 51-28. Obviously, Seattle, with 116 wins, had a win everywhere. 59 wins on the road and only 22 losses for the Mariners. O'Neill up on the count, 3-1.
Coach Torrey explains the fact that the Yankees have played so well in Seattle, and Seattle has played so well here at Yankee Stadium, and the fact that they have great bullpens and terrific closers. They play 6-inning ball games. You have the lead after 6, you're going to win most of them.
Seattle 5-1 here at Yankee Stadium this year. O'Neill had a reach for that. Olerud another Gold Glove play. Moyer covers, and there are 2 down.
I remember in spring training 1998, as we broke camp, we had a couple of youngsters on that Chicago Cub rotation, Jamie Moyer and a kid named Greg Maddox. And I got to my locker in Chicago, and I always had an empty locker on each side so you could keep fan mail, and I'm a big guy, and as you know, room to move around.
Yes, you do.
On one side I had Maddox, and on the other side I had Moyer. I'm like, what's this all about? And I found out the president of the Cubs, Dallas Green, wanted them to be around me to maybe learn something.
He didn't know you very well, did he?
He didn't.
You're talking about pitching stuff.
I ended up learning equally as much from them. Both of them immediately could dissect the hitter and tell what they needed to do to get him out. Maddox's control just came sooner than Moyer's did.
There's that fastball. He can sneak in there and did so on Scott Brocious. Brocious, a strikeout victim, 2 down. Here in the 5th inning as Jamie Moyer's really moving along. After that home run by Williams, he's given up nothing. The 0-2 delivery. Just up high.
One of the reasons Brett Boone can cover so much ground, look at how deep he plays. Now this isn't even a left-handed pull hitter who he would play deeper. It's a right-hander, and he's on the grass.
1-2 delivery. Oh, did he get him to chase that? So Moyer continues to be mucho impressive. He retires the side in order for the 4th time. And as we said, nobody's been on since Williams got that home run with 2 down in the 1st. He's got 5 Ks.